Hello, everyone. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us. We'll give everyone a minute to connect. Perfect. Hello, Irma from Northside. She's in the chat. A few more people joining. El Paso. Yes, we will share the recording afterwards. Sarah's asking. We'll post it on the website. Hello, Fort Worth. You're welcome. All right, Lisa. Oh, there's one more person. Hello, HEB. All right. Katie, hello, Katie. Great to see so many faces today.
Yes, wonderful.
All right, Risa, if you want to kick us off.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for everybody to be here. If you can turn the camera on, that would be great. Then I know, and then I get to know you. This is for the council and the district coordinator lunch and learn. So if you are local level leaders, we will have a local lunch and learn again. So don't feel like you're gonna miss something. If you're local, we're gonna have another time. Okay. All right. So I will start the presentation. First of all, I am Risa Ginser. I am Arts in Education Liaison at the Texas PTA. I'm also field service for Georgetown and also serve on the director as a director at large on board members. And we have the guru of the Texas PTA program, Carrie Mays. She has been the person that when you call Texas PTA office and with any question regarding reflection, she is the one who will be answering you. So thank you, Carrie, for working really hard to get us going this year again. All right, so I'd like to start as everybody is settling in. First of all, I'd like to remind us that even though we are reflections chair, which is a small portion of what the PTA at the council level does, but it really fits in the big picture. So Texas PTA's mission statement, I hope you will know by now, is to make every child's potential by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. And as we think about this post-pandemic still going, but compared to what we had been doing in 2019, 2020, and last year, we have come a long way. I know that you have, so you've seen, and you probably have provided some innovative idea to get this program going. But the most importantly, this program does engage in the families. One thing that Carrie and I witnessed was that we have seen families come to the state level award ceremony, and they are so excited that their children are celebrated. So at the council level, it is very important to communicate with the local level to encourage them to carry on this program so that we can reach out to many children at the same time and many families. That, as you are probably familiar, Reflections program is over 50 years old. Maybe many of you, this program is older than many of you. So it started by this volunteers. She was the Colorado PTA president, and just like us, right? Serving for the state PTA, and she saw the most important part of the arts in our lives. So she started this program, which was over 50 years ago. I want to show you some demographic here. We are one of the states that participate most entries at the national level. So let's get this, let's keep this tradition going, and hopefully we'll have more entries this year. Kerry, tell us that how many entries did we receive this past year at the state level?
We received, it's about $800 entries that we receive each year at the state level. And then we award roughly half of those, a little bit over half.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So yeah, close to 1,000 we will receive. So we'd like to see more entries coming from the local schools. All right. And I also want to share with you what school level, grade level, participate most. You guess it, right? Elementary school. When it comes to middle and high school, it is more challenging to get their attention to PTA programs. However, as we talked about engaging families and students, this is something that they can look for to kind of release their energies and also their talent. I want to share with you one of the most talented students. Okay, so here it is. I have this board. I don't know if you have ever seen, I'm sure some of you watches the American Idols. One of the contestants was the Texas PTA Reflections participants. He participated in, when was that, Kerry? Was that 2005 or 6, I believe?
Sounds
when you go
right.
to, something like that. Yeah, he was the top 10 last contenders. And when he participated at the Texas PTA Reflections at the local level, he did just what he is doing now. Put the guitar on, and then he sang, and he participated in a music category. So we can never underestimate their potential. So what leads to the future. I also would like to introduce this TikTok superstar. Julian Bass is he has more than 1 million followers, and he is a really, really big TikTok doing a special effect using the film, and that was his thing. And so he participated in a Reflections program in Virginia area, I believe was in the East Coast, and he has become the national winners, the awardees. And now he has a contract with Disney. So, we are creating the opportunity for students as well. Okay, all right. So some other things that I also would like to bring out is the national PTAs in diversity, equity, and inclusion in art piece, and which we also believe at the Texas PTA. we think about the diversity in many ways. There are different categories we provide, different levels of mediums, different levels of skills, different levels or different ways to express, different ways to even in drawings, different method of paintings. So we are bringing a lot of different diversity in the arts, and it is very important. One way, there is no one way to do art, so we want to emphasize that. Because reflection starts from right at the school year, and it goes on at the local level, council level, and the state level, and all year round. You can also encourage local levels to apply for School of Excellence Award at the national level. And maybe you will hear the voices from the locals that well, we don't have enough budget. But guess what? National PTA is providing over $600,000 to local school to initiate the program. So programs including reflections, programs such as many different kinds of programs. So make sure that you will encourage them to check in those local, the national awards, grants. Okay, so I don't have that tab open, but that we will share with that so that we can see. Actually, Texas PTA has been sending all those social media, reminder of this over $600,000 grant by National PTA. So make sure that you check it out. Okay, so let's move on to this. What do we do about this? Okay, so planning and promoting. As a matter of fact, this week is the Arts in Education Week. It's the National Arts in Education Week. If you go to Arts for Americans for Arts, the website, you will have a lot of different ideas. And one of the ideas was to promote different art categories every day. So today is Thursday, so you still have a Friday that you can promote reflections programs. So this is a great way to kick off reflections program and also encourage locals to engage in how they are doing promoting this program. And in October, it's another one, the National Arts and Humanity Month. So entire October, please keep this energy going at the local level. All right. So first things, you will probably go to the Texas PTA Reflections Program website. So this is what you see overview. You might be familiar already if you already served as a local chair, which I believe that most of you did. So something that you could check out is there, to provide promotional materials that where the local chairs can go to. Okay. All right. And also explain about the eligibility and all the checklist, which I will show you in a little bit. So this is the calendar we have. Oh, actually, this it's kind of like the dates are not correct on the National Arts and Education Week. So overall, this is what you are expecting. So right now, you are kind of waiting for locals to do, right? August, September, and October. By end of October, locals should be ending their cycle. They are thinking about probably started collecting the local level entries. So from November, when everybody else gets busy with the holiday, that council level chairs get really, really busy. So what I would suggest would be the council level judging, would a little before the Christmas holiday season or New Year holiday season, that just squeeze the judging at the beginning of December. So when we come back in January for school, state level deadline is always January 15th. So let's see, state level, it's 15th, oh, sorry, wait, yeah, 15th of January, which is this year, I mean, next year, actually, it's on Sunday. So our due date would be
So our due
Monday,
date
which
is actually the
again a
17th
holiday.
because
would be the
MLK
17th.
Day is the
Yeah.
16th. So
Yeah,
because it's on a weekend and there's a holiday on that Monday, we extend the deadline to the Tuesday, the 17th.
yeah, Tuesday the 17th. But if you're shipping items, it's kind of same thing, right? It won't, because of the holidays and weekdays, weekend, you don't want to send it on Friday because it will be stay in wherever the service is, and it won't get there on Tuesday. So make sure that you do meet that deadline on the January 15th. Okay, any questions so far? No? All right. Okay. So first things you want to do is I kind of gave you the glimpse of what looks like the rest of the year. But the first things you want to do is to set the council deadline, right? So that the locals always, local can always measure their due date as well. Okay. So most likely your due date would be the beginning of December, because it would be a holiday season, and also you do have to get ready to ship items to Texas PTA. So first 2 weeks of January, you would be probably completing and organizing for the shipping. So you would like to finish your judging and notification to the local chairs at the beginning of December. So that would be my suggestion. Okay, and you can also decide whether you would like to set this as a digital submission or physical collection. So during the pandemic that we had also created this digital submission, which we are continuing. So at the council level, you have a choice between digitally collect items, including visual art and photography, which traditionally was the physical entries. So you could do that. So does anybody have a question about the digital collection? Okay, so there was the question by the local chairs during the launch. Does that mean that they have to create items digitally? So that's not what I meant, right? It is digitally submit a digitally collection. So those who have drawn the pictures that they will have to take a photograph of their entries and then submit digitally. So that's what it means. So at the council level, make sure that which way you would do, either you are accepting the both of them, or you only will accept one of them. So you have to make sure to communicate with the local level. Kerry, do you have any suggestion to council chairs?
I think when you're deciding to go digital or physical, if you do the digital route, you want to make sure that you're taking really high quality photos of the artwork, because you don't want to lose all of the integrity of like a painting or a drawing where you can see the brush strokes. You definitely want that to come across to the judges. Some things do photograph better than others. So just keep that in mind when you're making that decision. We do judge at the state and the national levels, we do judging digitally. We've moved in that direction. So we found that it really opened up opportunities for finding judges that don't have to come physically to the office. National started it years ago and they moved in that direction. But if you have any questions on how to make something digital, just give me a call and I can walk you through from what I know based on my own.
Yeah, so what I have seen in the past is that beautiful piece of oil painting or watercolor. They take a picture in a very low light, their cell phone, and they also include the outside of the actual paintings, which it could be carpet, it could be pencil, it could be your socks, and so forth, like that. So as a council chair, you might want to provide the guidelines. Okay, these are the quality that we are looking for at the council level. So make sure that you trim it or you don't include it when you're taking the pictures, and good lighting. That would be an extra, effort for you. But I think we do have some tips for how to take a good picture of the submission, don't we, Carrie?
I think in that how to host a virtual reflections document that's on our website, you'll find it at the top of the leader resources page. I think that has some tips in there. Yeah, just make sure it's not askew, that you're not cropping off a corner of something. Just simple things like that. Just be aware of what you're taking a picture of.
Okay, so this would be, oh yeah, it's right here.
There it is. And the one right above that is your council leader checklist, which kind of walks you through the program. So those are probably the most important documents to download for the council leaders. And encourage your local leaders to download the one above that, which says local PTA leader checklist. That'll walk them through their program.
Yeah, so that's something that you might want to show it to them. Okay, so let me see. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is how it looks like, your checklist. So you can kind of see, so timeline overview, which we went. And
are you showing
so,
it?
Do you not see it? Here it is. There you go. Okay, so so make sure, okay, so another things that I also want to make sure with you is that, you don't want to do this all by yourself. So if you have committee members, that would probably be the best things to do. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have talked about deadline and guidelines on the coordinating the reflections program. So which is also in a leader resources as well. So I hope that I was talking about the teamwork. So even though the council chair, that your name is with us on our list, that I hope you do have a committees, that a committee can help you to promote the programs, or share ideas what to do next, and so forth, like that. Yeah? Okay, just like at the local level, the teamwork always makes the great work. So some of the items that we already have is the poster. One thing that you can do is at the membership meeting, if you do have a membership meeting this month, it's still not too late to make a small flyers or posters through your district printing service, and maybe you will share with the local chairs and they can take it to their schools, or as a council chair, you could also work with the local businesses, and then they can post their your posters there. Each school has to go to, student has to go to the each school leaders. So what you want to put here is contact your local reflections chair or local PTA. So information has to clear enough that they will know what to do, right? So you will have to make it clear in that way. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so this is, I showed it to you already. This is the local leader resources, which we already have. Okay, and then I'm going to next, so which we already visited. Okay, so here, another way at the council level can promote through local is that make sure we do also have a theme search going on. So currently the theme search is for 2024 and 2025. So we already have a next year's theme, which is, oh, wait. This is old one, isn't it? What's the theme for next year is, I think I had it in the bottom.
Next year's will be I am
hopeful because, yeah, I am hopeful because, so that would be, that is the 2023-2024 theme. And National PTA is looking for a theme for 2024 and 2025. So that's something that some student may not want to participate in the art way, but they can do this very easily. Correct, Carrie?
Yes, so it's separate from the Reflections program. It's a contest just where National is asking students to dream up a theme for the program that will encourage students across the nation to create art based on that theme. So we're allowed to send 5 themes to National PTA, and then they collect all the states and they choose one winning theme. If the student has created the winning theme, they receive $100 as part of the contest. And I am putting the link to our theme search page in the chat. I also shared the promotional materials webpage in there. Someone asked if we had access to the posters and the flyers. So that is all available on our website. And as the themes become available, we add that to the theme search page. So it shows on there that Show Your Voice is this year's theme. And then it shows next year as I Am Hopeful Because.
Okay, let me just go back to show you.
And that theme search contest, the deadline is November 5th for students to submit their themes in that form. There it is. So the entry form is right there under Reese's mouse. And they can submit as many themes as they'd like. The form offers instructions in English and Spanish. And the only caveat is they can't, or they shouldn't, they won't win. They shouldn't send us themes that have already been selected. And there is a list on there. If you click here to show past themes, it'll show the list of past themes for 50 plus years.
Oh, where's that?
It was in the form itself.
Oh, was it in the form itself? Okay, well, how convenient is that? Thank you so much.
Sure. And that's the flyer that we have.
Oh, well, I'm not doing it right. Okay, right here.
Yeah. And then there's a little checkbox. Click here to, it's in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go.
There's all the past themes. And the other box will show it to you in Spanish.
Yeah, very good.
So yeah. We don't get a ton of entries. We usually get a few hundred a year. So if you scroll down, it'll be under there. It'll be under the English, since both of them are checked at the moment. There they are in Spanish. So this is another great way for students to get involved in the program.
Yeah, especially student can go online and then just type it away, you know. So it is, less involved than actually, you know, what do you call that, providing the reflections entries. So I hope you will encourage these opportunities as well. All
And there's
right,
no
so
limit, no
no
limit.
limit. Okay, so okay, let's move on to the other things. So again, thank you so much for the no limit part. So I want to make sure that the council chairs communicate with the local chairs that we all know reflections has a 6 categories, right? So each of the 6 categories, student can submit all 6 categories or multiple entries in each categories or multiple entries in all categories or some categories. So it is open, unlimited opportunities for them to participate. So make sure that you communicate with that part with the local level as well. All right, let's see. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, so I'm moving on to the program eligibility. So make sure you will be working with the membership person or local president, actually the council president or council secretary and membership that they can look at the schools are all eligible and good standing by October 31st. So be sure all those schools are on this good standing status. Otherwise, if they, uh, it's not like we will, that you don't want to discourage any of them. So be sure that you communicate now that they have to be on a good standing.
So for this, after October 31st, that deadline, we will add a column to the local PTA roster that says reflections eligible. And so you'll see that column show up after the October deadline. Once we get all the dues processed and everything, we'll add that in and we'll designate PTAs. Now, PTAs who are not eligible, they can still participate through the council level. They just cannot come to the state or national level. So you still want to accept those at the council. And then and they just have to attain active status, which is the 20 members and at least one board member on file with Texas PTA by that October 31st deadline. Good standing may affect, in the wording you can see it may affect, but we've never gotten to that point. We've always worked with PTAs to get them across the finish line, if that has ever come to that.
So you mentioned about the local, what did you say, Google
Local PTA
form?
roster, the Google roster.
Yeah, does everybody have that access? Do you know about it? Okay, if you don't, make sure you will ask your president. You should be able to be shared that link. So anybody who has that link should be able to accept. So I could actually.
I think I can share it in a minute.
Okay,
great. You want to continue? I'll add it in to the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Okay, so next things I want to talk about the membership piece here. At the council level, you will receive many entries from local level. We do not want to turn anybody down. This is the program, the participating program. So we like to encourage as many students as possible to participate in this program. So your job at this point is to make sure at the local level, all students are members. I mean, not the student of the families. At the high school level, they can become a member themselves. So make sure that part is taken care of at the local level. However, sometimes at the council level, when you receive the entries from local and you go through all the judgings and the selected entries, the top 20%, which moves on to Texas state level, the membership part is not fulfilled, right? So the first part you want to make sure is that the local chairs has filled all this information, their contact numbers, and then and also the family, has the family been members or not? If so, the member BP has verified it. All those information should be filled already in. And then maybe look at the bottom part. You have to be making sure this part is also filled as well. If they have some reason have forgotten to become a member at the local level, it is not too late. That we'd like to encourage you to contact the local reflections chair, and they can contact to the this particular families, and they can take care of the membership part. If you want to directly contact the family, that is totally up to you, but make sure this part is done at the council level. Any input from Kerry? Anything else?
No, I think that covered it. Any questions from you guys?
Yeah, okay. So at the high school level, I encourage that the high school students themselves become members, because later on, if they participate in any program, that would also make help them to become eligible to apply for senior scholarships and so forth. So it will lead to their future and building their resumes. So it would be a good idea to support PTA at the same time. It's good to participate in the PTA programs to be eligible to apply for the scholarship. So, right. Okay. Let's see. We have talked about the eligibility. So this is something that from past, maybe you could collect it at the local, at the physical. If you are collecting physically, you would like to make sure that there are windows of like time, like, okay, 9 to 12, or either 9 to 12, or take a lunch break and 1 to 4, or however you think it works with the local chairs. Okay. And also, there would, if you have a big school district, there would be lots of entries coming in, unless you are doing everything digitally. So you want to make sure to reserve some rooms. If the district has some facility that you could reserve, you want to do that in advance, so that you have room to spread art entries for judging as well, and also taking the photos, right? Okay. So that's another thing that it'd be a good idea to save everything in a jump drive or memory stick, so that you would not crowd anything on your computer or your phone itself. Some school that's using the Google Doc, everything goes to the Google Doc and then be able to share it later. Okay. If just in case, if you're not familiar with this grade level divisions, at the primary, we know that from K through 2, it's also include the pre-K as well. And then we have intermediate, 3rd grade through 5th, and then we have a middle school and then high school. The special artist at the council level, it will be all together. So everyone from different school will bring in the special artist entries. At the level of, at the time of judging, you will be judging all together from pre-K all the way to high school, and according to the categories, of course. can you help me to fill in if I'm missing any part of this special artist part?
The only difference between, there is a difference between the way local PTAs and council PTAs handle the special artist entries. At the local level, they actually do it by grade level. I'm sorry, by grade. I think they break it out a lot lower. And then when you're sending it to the state, it's going to ask you to combine all the grades. So you're going to send one dance, one film. So when you're judging, you just keep that in mind, that it's a little bit different between the local and the council levels, especially if you're a new council chair and you're coming from a local. Just read through the judging instructions and make sure that you're following the guidelines. Any questions?
Yeah, any questions?
No, it's a quiet group today.
Yes, very quiet.
I actually had a question about the special artist category.
Yes.
I'm here at Frisco ISD, and so when you say that at the council level there should only be one special artist from each category, so does that mean at the local level for a primary, they make sure that their judging is done so only one special artist is chosen?
No, so when it's advancing to the council level, they're sending you one from each grade level. But when you're sending it to state, you're just sending one. And the reason it's combined at the next at state and national, it's combined into one group with all K through 12 is because there's not enough entries to split it out. We barely, in some categories, we barely even get one when you open it up K through 12. So it's a great area to talk to your special artist teachers, because they're always looking for ideas. I think you probably already said this, Risa. And Reflections is a great way to get those students involved in the arts by including them in the special artist division.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, communicate with the local chairs that they can also, they can connect with the special education student, not the student, teachers, and work with them individually, separately, actually, is what I meant with separately, that those teachers know which students are really interested in particular art type. Some students are really keen on the drawings every day, taking the photos, so that they will also have a place. We talked about the diversity, and that's part of that as well. So make sure that the council chair, you communicate with the local chair to encourage them so that they can connect with the special teachers. Okay, and then special artists. We'd like to see more entries of the special artists. So the local level, they will send each categories, right? The dance and so forth all together. Separately. If they have a lot of entries, the top 20% could be 2 or 3 from each categories. At the council level, you will combine all the grade, and then you will judge according to the categories. So you will have, let's say that you have one entry from pre-K dance and then one high school dance. You do have to combine those 2 entries and then decide which one to move on to the state level. All right. Okay. And when you communicate with the local schools, some local school might be overwhelmed to do all 6 categories. It is all up to them. So you could guide them. They could only host the visual arts. That's perfectly fine. If they want to just host the film festival, that is completely fine. So you don't have to do all 6 categories, but you will never know what the students can do and their hidden gift. So it is a great idea to provide all 6 categories. But it is all up to the local chairs that how they feel. We don't want to, this program to be an overwhelming one. Okay, all right. So we want to talk about some of the items that are, okay. So visual art and photography, there is a very fine, some part is a very fine line, some part. Okay, let's see. I want to talk a little bit about the differences, and then we're going to move on to the judging levels. Okay. So this is specific to Texas PTA that at the national level, when you look at the national PTA reflections guideline, that's why we do encourage you to stay with the Texas PTA website. They have this started probably 3-4 years ago to accept the 3D-dimensional art, which is like a sculpture. However, at the Texas PTA level, we only receive 2-dimensional art. So 2-dimensional art is those which that you see here. Some of them have those pieces of mosaic, paper mosaic that are on the art, which is thin enough that we'll consider as a 2D. However, like pastas or I don't know, foams or pompons and so forth. First of all, we receive almost 1,000 entries. So it's very easy to get those pieces to get lost or destroyed or crashed in the process of shipping, also process of our judging. So, we don't want any disappointment from students because it's their artwork. So we'd like to prevent that accident. So make sure that you remind also local chairs that Texas PTA, we do not accept the sculpture. However, if it happens, do not say no to those sculptures. They can still participate by taking a photo of the sculpture and create the new entries as a photograph. So there is a possibility, but we would like to prevent that. It's a time-consuming process to make a sculpture. So if they could do it from the beginning, according to the guideline, that would prevent that accident. Okay, any questions about this? Okay, and the maximum size is 24 by 30 inches, which is pretty big. One thing that I want to make sure that everybody will do is something that okay, let me just I will stop my background. Okay, so here is some entries. It's just a photography. So you see this black foam board, which local chair can provide or individual family can provide. And then you have these photos to glued on. It won't come off at all using a very good tape. And then back of this, you see this student entry form in the plastic package. So this is the guideline of how to submit. So you can see this one. A lot of times at the local level, we don't see any those, what do you call this, like a protector sheet. And then just a piece of this entry form stuck onto the photograph itself. Again, it is easy to get lost. And we will never know who the artist is. It is hard to keep track of that. So educating local chairs is very important. And then again, this is just the butcher's paper. A lot of times what we see at the state level is wax paper or parchment paper. Those doesn't stick really well when you tape it. And then again, it will make a scratch mark on your photograph or visual art. So what we are trying to do is not to make it difficult, but the guidelines are for the reason. We'd like to protect it. Okay.
Please discourage your local leaders from totally wrapping the piece, especially in plastic, because we can't photograph those. We have to totally unwrap and pull it apart, and then a lot of times you can't put it back together anyways. So a simple piece of butcher paper or newspaper, something just taped to the back and folded over the front, that will suffice. That should be good enough to keep it secure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another things that we see is another one is like this. It's a frame. So do communicate with the local chairs that I know we would like to keep it really nicely because it's a reflection of work, and so this is from the past, but we don't want any frames to be sent to neither the council level nor at the state level. So this one needs to be separated, like I had shown it to you. So the picture should be just submitted as a piece of board like that. Oh, like this. Okay. Any question about the submission piece? So we also see the challenges about putting your IDs on the thumb drive. Some thumb drives are really, really small. Some try to write their names and school name and titles. So you could give them some form. When we were using the CD, that was much easier, but now it's a thumb drive. So maybe they can put it in a Ziploc bag, and then Ziploc bag, they can identify their names and so forth. Okay. Another piece that I don't have examples this right now, but literature entries. The literature entries is another part that we'd like you to communicate. So let's see if we could share that part. Okay, let's see. Okay. So if we look at the guideline, it's actually at the council level.
Do you have the guidelines?
Chairs. Yeah.
We're still seeing the 2D.
Yeah. I just got it. Okay. So what organizing the reflection program is one thing, but another important part as a council chair is to communicate the guidelines. There are lots of readings, and sometimes that the local may not reach, the eyes may not reach to the point of the details. So at the council level, make sure that you will communicate and remind those guidelines. At the literature part, the packing is a little bit tedious because you do either write or print it on the letter size paper, which is the regular paper. However, after that, you will have to put it in the Manila file folder. Well, many people may not have a Manila file folder. Some schools are nice enough that they provide the folders for students. So you could make sure that they remind all those local chairs that how they can provide these Manila folders. Manila folders itself is not expensive, but it doesn't sell one by one, right? So if you buy it, you have to buy it as a set. And people may not buy 15 of them, right? So, however, when it comes to the state and then also national, we don't want to see just a piece of paper and the student entries on the back, just taping it. That's unsecure. Again, it is a good way to get lost. All right.
And if you wanted to bypass the whole folder and all of that, you could just send it to us digitally. And you
That's
don't have to
right.
mess with the folder.
Yes, that's another good way, good reason to do digital submission as well.
Just get a good
Okay.
scan.
Yes. All right. So I want to go back to our slide. See. So this is another question that we often get is here, photography or visual art. Sometimes that we see the photographs, many different pieces, small photos is glued on the paper. That is considered as the collage. So that is the visual art. Sometimes students have a photograph and then write something, piece of paper, and then stick that on the photograph, show my voice, stick. So that's considered to be visual art. Unless it is generated seamlessly, digitally, and printed out, and that is the photograph. So that is the difference. Even though the right side, there are many photos, but it's the one thing photos, one thing pieces, versus the left side is the glued on, it's a collage, it's a visual art. So that's the difference. So that's another thing that you need to pay attention to the student entry form, what category they are entering in. If you see that, some students turn it in the left side item under the photograph, you might want to contact the families like, okay, this is actually is the visual art. Would you like to turn it in as a visual art? You do also want to connect with the local chair as well, because that's how they judged under. So to prevent it, again, you want to communicate with the local chair. Okay, so let's move on to the judging part. So judges, you would like to have a different judges, at least 2 or 3, maybe 3 judges in each category. However, some judges are good with, loves the literature, at the same time, listen to music. So they can be the music judges as well. So utilize their talents. And again, once again, if you are judging digitally, you could ask friends out of state and so forth. Okay. All right. So this is something that I also wanted to remind. I reminded the locals level. Just because they are specialists does not mean they are good at understanding children's heart and effort. So don't think too technical about the judging. What we are judging is not their skills, right? Medium comes to show you. Here it is. The most important part is the interpretation of the theme. So if the judge can technically see the difference between, good stroke or good lighting, that is not what we are looking for as a judge. That is the important part, but how they can relate to the student and how they can understand the children's heart and mind. So that's more important. Okay. All right. So they talk about the numbers of the judges. Let's see. So I talked about that, the formal training, but at the same time, the kids' heart. Okay. All right. So we could cover that. Okay. So judging scores and scorecard, we see this on our website. You could use this point 20, 12, and 8, total 40. You can make your own. However, make sure the interpretation of the theme is the most highest weight among all. Okay. So 50% goes to the theme, right? 20 out of 40. Okay. Only 5% is the mastery of medium. And then that is the artistic merit and creativity. So that's what the reflections program is all about. Creativity in a sense that they are unique, original art. That also reminds me of the music entries, or they are singing along the pre-existing music that is not considered to be a creative part. Okay. So here is the chart of the award level. It is all up to the how big is your district. Some big district, you want to incorporate the participation award. Some small district, like myself, like we did last year, we did not give any participation award. We gave most everybody honorable mention, just because there was only a few entered. Okay. And when you communicate with the local level, it's the same thing. Especially middle school, high school level, if the entries are very small, we want to encourage everybody. We want to, we want to give everybody a positive energy. So, they don't have to create the participation award at the high school level, especially. Just participating itself, to me, it is a great honor for Texas PTA that we see that. However, some high school, I know they had over 100 participation, so that is a different story. So you will have to kind of design accordingly. Any advice, Carrie?
No, I think you covered it well.
Okay.
We always try to award more than half of the entries, simply because this is not a contest, it's a program, and we can, by awarding the students and recognizing them, we can encourage more participation in the arts, and that's our goal with this program.
Yes, definitely. All right. And finally, you are getting ready, you finished your judging, and you're going to be submitting your record. This is the local information, so you make sure that you communicate with the local level, and that's what they need to do. I'd like to share another part is, let's see. Okay, so this is the local information, and then they do have the local roster oh, that's not it, what it is. Where did it go? I cannot find it now. I thought I had. So basically what it is when you come to the submission part, you have the advancing entry spreadsheet, which when I press it, it will automatically download. So it becomes the spreadsheet looks like this. Here it is. So the local level chairs, they do have to submit that. And what they do is they will submit this and automatically comes to you at the council chair, correct? Okay.
They should put whoever their students that are advancing, they should enter them onto that spreadsheet. And when they're completing the participation summary, the local PTA reflections participation summary, there's a place for them to upload that spreadsheet and enter your email address as the council coordinator. And that way, when they submit the form, which the form is telling Texas PTA their numbers, that they participated, how many students participated, how many were advancing, and then they upload their spreadsheet and put your email address. And then when they send us that form, it's also going to email you their spreadsheet and their numbers, so that you should get that automatically. And the reason we use the spreadsheet is so that you can take all the spreadsheets that you're receiving from all the different PTAs and just copy paste them all into one large list. so that they all match. So it's easier for you to copy and paste them and build your master list of all the entries that are participating at the council level.
Okay. All right, let's go back. So we have just a few more announcements. Okay, so this is what we did. We have showed it to you. Okay, so to celebrate at the council level, I have something that I wanted to share.
Maybe,
yeah.
So it's the same as the local PTAs have their summary, their form. There's going to be a form for you guys to submit to state. And it's not on there currently because when we put it up too early, the local PTAs send it in by mistake. And we don't want them to do that. So it says right now on the website available in December, and that's to prohibit local PTAs from completing it. And it's your submission form that you're sending me, and you're putting in the student's information to tell me who is advancing to the state level. So be looking for that form. It is required. And then you'll decide if you're sending them digitally or you're going to ship me a box. That's it, available in December.
Okay. All right, so just to conclude this one. Oh, okay, here we go. You guys seeing that? No. Okay, here we go. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is something that one of the council, the under ISD council has been doing, and we want to share with other councils that reflections t-shirts. This is just it's not the final design, but this is how it's gonna look like. So we have a theme, logos here, and then here, and then this one says ready for 2023-24. This t-shirt, we will send the link through social media very soon, and you can use this t-shirt as your award gift, or you can also share with the locals, and they might want to use this instead of trophies and so forth like that. And then, of course, Texas PTA has the ribbons and certificate templates. Is that correct, Carrie? You still have that?
So everything is through Shop PTA. Also in that list that Risa was showing us on the website, the last step 8, it has the link to Shop PTA. And then we will create a certificate, a free certificate that if you want to just download and print your own certificates, we'll have that available in October in that same area.
Okay, so that concludes our presentation. Any other questions?
And I've been answering questions in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Someone did ask that if a PTA was not wanting to promote the reflections program or participate, maybe they don't have a chair or someone to head it up, but a child approached them and does want to participate, what do they do? And I wrote the answer to that, that they should assist that student in sending their entry to the next judging level at least. If there's only one entry, you don't have to judge anything, just send it on, let them continue on in the program. And then maybe approach that family and see if they want to help head the program up next year.
Yeah,
a lot of our chairs come from families that are they're already involved in the program themselves.
Yeah, including myself.
Yes.
I see. I see Carrie Ward has a question. Raise hand.
Hi, my question is, at the local level, because there's only one entry, we may get the entry advanced to the council level, and then at our judging level, although that might be one entry in that category, if it doesn't really meet the interpretation of the theme, I would not want to send it to state. Is that correct? Or if it's only one, just send it to you guys. Can you clarify that?
I mean, we don't want to disqualify, and art interpretation is very subjective. So I myself would probably send it on unless it was just very out there. like nothing, it doesn't fit at all, or it doesn't meet the guidelines. Maybe it's 3D, something like that. But I would again work with the family to see if you could kind of bring it back in to the scope of the program before just saying, no, not quite.
Yeah, unless like music entries and singing somebody else, already pre-recorded song, I would actually, encourage you to just send it on to the next level.
Right. Copyright is really the only instance where we disqualify. We encourage all other.
Yeah, I wasn't saying disqualify. I would still say, for instance, based on the scoring, like if it scored like a high score in the 40s, or, like say 25 to 40, then yes, it's overall excellence and it goes on to state. But if it's scored like in the lower 20s, then we'd give it like an honorable mention per se and not advance it to you guys. That's kind of how I was envisioning it, but I didn't know if there was any clear cut, like we'll still give everyone a recognition. It's just like, I just feel that with the judges, like if we already know with our district level judging that, like I know the caliber of the entries that you guys advance to state. And I feel like, at your level, judging the 800 that you get, if I know that there's going to probably be someone that, better fits the theme, I don't know. I'm just looking at the time of the judges judging, each level.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
I would send it on myself because,
send it on? Okay.
Because also that student would get state recognition.
Okay.
Even if if they're not awarded, they would still receive a letter thanking them for their participation. And it's all just encouraging them in the arts more and more.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarification.
Sure.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's a good question. I think that a lot of struggles, but that's
hard because art is so subjective. I mean, two people can look at it and think totally different things. Any other questions?
Anybody else? Yeah, any other question? I want to hear from you guys. How you guys feeling this year? You feel like you have a good grip on it, and you think you can? You're gonna have a great show your voice year? Yes. Show me your thumbs up if you are feeling that. Thank you.
You got a heart.
Hi.
Thank you, Gary.
Hi, I just wanted to put that out there. I mean, it's not a question, but I think some of the locals at the elementary school level are struggling to explain to the little ones on the theme. We really don't know how the little ones are going to interpret "Show Me Your Voice." So that's one of the something a local chair was talking to me saying, I don't know how they're going to interpret this, especially K to 3, maybe K to 3 age groups is what we heard. As to "Show Me Your Voice," they don't know exactly how to go about. So maybe do you have something how a local chair at an elementary school especially can, what she or he could talk at an assembly meeting or something and encourage this theme for the little kiddos?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's really difficult part. I think it's sensitive. Carrie, did you have a suggestion?
I'm a part of a few Facebook groups that share about the Reflections program, and someone wrote a quote. The one thing that you have that nobody else has in you, your voice, your mind, your story, your vision. So write and draw and build and play and dance and live as only you can. So it's just kind of showing you definitely don't want to drive them in one direction. So it's really, you want them to interpret the theme the best way they know how. And it's just telling your story. It's showing your voice. It's how do you want people to portray you, maybe? How do you want, again, you don't want to push them in any one direction. So it's hard to.
True. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I think that's what we could ask them to drive us to. Just tell them, how do you want you to be portrayed? You know, what are you feeling? What are you thinking? Yeah, that'll be a good way to explain to the little children. Yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be about them. It could be maybe they're speaking for a crayon. Maybe they're speaking for an animal.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even the interpretation of show your voice, maybe they are speaking for something that's an inanimate object that doesn't have a voice.
Oh, that's true. Good. That's a great point. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just get creative. That's the whole thing, is getting creative with the theme, and really students are the best at that because they have a whole nother imaginary world.
Yeah, sometimes that we are trying to help them kind of limits their imagination, and we don't want to do that. So
correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I see somebody. I saw Carrie had a raised hand. Did you have another suggestion or something?
Yes, I actually spoke to our guidance counselor at the school about the reflection programs, and exactly what Carrie just mentioned. He did bring it up. It does not necessarily mean show your voice like standing up to bullying or standing up for something you believe in. It could just be that what you said, like showing your personality or what you envision, you know, an inanimate object. So yeah, I ditto that sentiment, because I was struggling also with, you know, interpretation of the theme. So so yeah.
Yeah, National likes to do vague. All their things are vague. Which leaves it open for K through 12. I mean, it's a hard thing to choose one theme for so many people. So many options. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? You know, I wanted to bring out the, I don't know why it's not opening up for me, but I had a saying by Georgia O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe said, you know, I can say everything I cannot say with the word through her paintings. So that's, you know, that's what they are doing, right? You know, their feelings and their thoughts, you know, how do you put that in there?
And also make sure they're writing the artist statement and the titles, because a lot of times we may not see what the student was envisioning without that explanation. If we have two very similar drawings, really the artist statement might make one more poignant than the other, just knowing what the student was thinking when they drew it or took that picture or danced the dance. So comes into play very heavily, especially at the state level.
Yeah. Okay, finally I got it, this one. I mean, this might be very difficult to explain to the younger student, but that's what the reflection this program is all about, you know. And actually, we found the many students. I don't know if you have attended our Back to the Future, not Back to the Future branch. Many students found their voice through reflections. So our role is to, continue this program by encouraging arts in school and in education. Okay. Anything else? Carrie, am I missing something?
I think we covered all the big
Big
points. Definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. I think I've put my email in the chat if my computer will work. So that's me at the state office. And then arts and ed at txpta.org is Risa. Put that in the chat. Right, and if you have any questions, just reach out to us and we're happy to help walk you through anything. We did record this, so I'll post it on the website once it's done processing, and I'll just put it into the LEADA resources page. So if you want to go back and rewatch, or if maybe someone from you didn't get to see it, you can share that out. All right. Well, if there's no further questions, good. I know that y'all are going to do great this year. I can't wait to see all the entries coming to the state office. It's always my favorite time of year.
Yeah, and thank you again for stepping up to, this role. So we really appreciate your role, and it's very important to see that. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Hi, thanks again for joining.
Thanks,
Bye,
Thank
have
you,
a good
ladies.
day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.